As long as I'm the one that's brought it up, let's just continue the conversation about Colts head coach Shane Steichen. Item number 3 on our Sunday 6. It's our weekly coaching spotlight. We like to every week highlight a moment, a performance, a decision that highlights coaching. Today's coaching spotlight is brought to you by Verizon. They are the official private wireless network of the NFL's coach-to-coach communications. And full transparency, take you behind the curtain. Talk to Ben about Shane Steichen, about the Colts, sat back and thought about it and thought to myself, yeah, this is what we need to highlight here in week 13. Denver and Philadelphia go down on Sunday, and all of a sudden the Indianapolis Colts are now tied for the longest win streak in the NFL. They got 4 of them in a row. They share that distinction with San Francisco and Dallas. Now, what's the obvious difference there? The 49ers and the Cowboys entered the season with very obvious Super Bowl aspirations. It's a very Super Bowl or bust type of season in both of those cities. The Colts entered off of a 4-12-1 season with a new head coach, Shane Steichen, and a rookie quarterback. If the expectations weren't low enough, they lost their number 4 overall pick, Anthony Richardson, to a shoulder injury almost 2 months ago at this point. Here we are in December, 2 games over 500. The New York Times, their playoff model predictor, gives them a 67% chance to make the playoffs. At this rate, with 5 games left, the schedule looks about as forgiving as possible for an AFC team, in my opinion. I don't know if they have the narrative power to pull this off, because that does matter. I think it would be naive to assume otherwise. You know, the guys that typically win these awards have an amazing record, 12, 13, 14 wins, or as the case is with D'Amico Ryans in Houston, you've got a hot shot quarterback like CJ Stroud taking the league by storm. Regardless, Shane Steichen deserves to be mentioned in this conversation for NFL Coach of the Year. As Ben said earlier, this team just find ways to win. They lost Anthony Richardson back at the beginning of October. Gardner Minshew, clearly he's doing a good enough job to help them. He hasn't been amazing. He has not carried this team the way we've seen from a guy like Stroud. But they find ways to do it. They get it done. This week, I think you have to make sure you shout out special teams coordinator Brian Mason. His unit blocked 2 punts, directly contributed to 10 points in a game that they won by 3 in overtime against the Titans, as we talked about. It's not sexy. It's not going to lead SportsCenter or any of those other types of shows because, again, CJ Stroud is doing it in very obvious fashion. Number 2 overall pick, 300 yards every other week. Indianapolis is just a well-coached football team that has risen from 4-12-1 to being right in the mix. Their next 2 games, also against teams starting backup quarterbacks. Cincinnati has lost Joe Burrow for the year. Pittsburgh, unfortunately, Kenny Pickett gets hurt Sunday against Arizona. 2 teams that don't have their starters either. It's very, very realistic to think the Colts could finish this season with a winning record. I don't know where it goes from there. The AFC is terrifying with all of the heavyweights that you have to navigate. Not trying to tell you to believe in Indianapolis as a contender, but it is an accomplishment that they're in this position in the first place. And when you look around at what they're doing on their roster, the young players getting opportunities, losing their quarterback that early in the season, it's clearly dependent on the job that Shane Steichen and his coaching staff are doing that they are in this situation. I think it's incredibly impressive. I think it's worth spotlighting. That's what I'm doing. Shane Steichen, put him in the Coach of the Year conversation at the very least. The Colts deserve that much.